And good morning, Speaker. My question is for the Premier. Last month, this government presented an election document in this legislature making promises they have no intention of ever keeping. And now we have the proof, Speaker. The government's budget bill, Bill 31, includes nothing, Speaker, absolutely nothing that would implement or even start to implement any of their election promises. Nothing to start a childcare program, nothing on long-term care, nothing on mental health care, nothing on drugs and dental for seniors is in the bill, Speaker. The Premier was writing checks she knew would bounce, Speaker. So I say to you, to the Premier, through you to the Premier, will you just admit that your budget is full of election promises that they have no intention whatsoever of keeping?
Thank you. Premier.
Mr. Speaker, that is absolutely not true. We absolutely are committed to implementing everything that we brought forward in our budget, Mr. Speaker. The budget bill begins that process, building the capacity in order to implement all of the care initiatives that we have in our budget, Mr. Speaker. Childcare, more support for home care, Mr. Speaker, investment in hospitals, investment in mental health. All of that will be implemented, Mr. Speaker, beginning with the budget bill.
Supplementary.
Well, back to the Premier. Not one of those issues is in the actual budget bill that we'll be debating this afternoon. But the Premier couldn't help herself, Speaker. Here's what she did include in that budget bill. All of the $2 billion of tax increases made it into that budget bill, Speaker. Schedule 32 and 33 allow the government to implement their $2 billion in tax increases on 1.8 million Ontarians and their families and businesses. But the Premier has gone a step farther. She's left herself a loophole to bring in further taxes after the election is over and before the end of the year. That little clause made it into the budget bill, Speaker. That's right. Ontario, the Premier is planning to hit you with even more taxes after the election to feed this spending addiction. Speaker, to the Premier, will she be honest with Ontario families and admit that there is a loophole to hit them with more taxes after the election?
Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Thank you. Premier.
Mr. Speaker, I completely understand why the Leader of the Opposition would not want to talk about anything that they are thinking about doing, Mr. Speaker. A, because there is nothing that they are thinking about doing, Mr. Speaker. And B, the only thing we know is that that party under Doug Ford wants to take $10 billion out of services across this province. Mr. Speaker, we are committed to building on the foundation that has already been constructed in this province. So, Mr. Speaker, we have full-day kindergarten up and operating. Thousands of children this morning went to full-day kindergarten because of what our government did. And, Mr. Speaker, in that same vein, we have promised and will deliver free preschool childcare, Mr. Speaker. Children across this province already have free prescription medication with OHIP Plus, Mr. Speaker. In that vein, we will expand OHIP Plus and include seniors, Mr. Speaker. We've built the foundation. We're going to continue to build.
Thank you. Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Final supplementary.
Thank you, Speaker. Again, none of those promises are in the budget bill, but there are more tax increases that are in the budget bill. The bill allows the government to hike taxes on small businesses. These tax increases mirror Prime Minister Trudeau's tax increases introduced last fall. Some 20,000 businesses in Ontario will now each be paying $2,400 a year more in taxes. So, to recap, Speaker, there's nothing in the bill to implement any of the Premier's big-ticket, big-spending election promises, but she's included everything to implement the tax increases we first told you about, the ones the Premier will never mention. The government simply can't be trusted. Speaker, to the Premier, why does she and her government believe votes are for sale in Ontario?
Thank you. Minister. Minister of Finance.
Speaker, the member opposite is talking about a budget bill that's before this debate right now. And he's recognizing that we need to enable some of those activities in order to persuade and facilitate the actual budget. Now, the year-end spending that is being produced is outlined, and everything that we're doing going forward is very well outlined. The member opposite, however, has not indicated one iota of what it is that they're going to do, what it is that they're going to cut, what it is that they're going to hurt the people of Ontario and our economy. We've outlined it very clearly. We've displayed very appropriately what we are about to do, and we've put it forward to the future, Mr. Speaker, because we must feel and must think forward, Mr. Speaker. You can't look backwards, and you can't just look at the moment. You got to look at what's going to happen in the future. These are not election cycle decisions. These are long-term decisions that have tremendous impact on families across the province of Ontario. They should know that.